I know it feels like 15 years ago, but why did Vrabel and the Titans part ways? I mean, what happened there, Tom?
We talked about it, Rich, on game day morning on Sunday, and my understanding was they were going to speak after the season was over and try to figure out if there was how they could possibly move forward together. There was a lot that was swirling out there in terms of reports about his frustration. People like Michael Lombardi on his podcast saying, I don't think he likes the setup. And of course, there's a New England connection to Lombardi there. There were, there's a lot of noise, him going to New England and saying the things that he did and some of those other things that just didn't land well. He never addressed it. My understanding was, this is what we wrote and talked about, he never went to ownership or the other Titans brass and said, hey, I got a problem with Rand Carthon, or I got a problem with the structure. He never talked about the alignment, and him and Rand Carthon never had blow-ups. It wasn't anything like that. But when you have this much noise, Rich, you would think at some point, if somebody writes a story saying Tom Pelissero really doesn't like working with Rich Eisen, I'd probably call you and go, yeah, that's a bunch of BS. Like, don't worry about that. They never confronted it publicly or privately. And so it just left everyone going, what is the deal here? When you see those buzzwords that Amy Adams Strunk used in her statement and in her in-house media interview with the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, she kept talking about collaboration and alignment. It was very clear that while Vrabel and Rand may have been friendly and they got along well enough, they weren't working together. They were not collaborative. They wanted a different environment around that team. You've spent time around Vrabel. I've met Vrabel. He is I don't even know how to describe him. He is a unique individual. He's an excellent, excellent football coach, but also somebody who's going to bow up a lot with things he doesn't like. He's going to have his way of doing things, and he's going to want to proceed like that. They weren't on the same page. Vrabel was frustrated with the roster. He was plainly frustrated with some other things. Amy Adams Strunk did something that you don't see very often, which is flat out firing a really, really good football coach. And we'll see now with Rand Carthon running the operation there in terms of a coaching search, what direction they go. I would bet you this, Rich, as they're going through this, and we've seen them request a lot of the hot offensive names. We've also seen them request guys like Aaron Glenn and Antonio Pierce and Dan Quinn, Raheem Morris. Those guys are probably going to be more the types of leaders that you see with DeMeco Ryans in Houston. They're going to be a little bit more type A, I don't want to say rah-rah, but along those lines. You're going to have a different type of an energy than you had with Vrabel. And I think, that leader of men type, even though Vrabel would also fit in that category, that's probably the direction that Tennessee is going to be leaning.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.